Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey gamers, so this is Kita, and today we have a very special playthrough of Majora's Mask. I have some people here to help me commentate.
I'm glitches and stuff. I do Zelda glitches. Hi.
I'm ZFG. I used to speedrun this game. I know some stuff. I might be able to help commentate and ask questions.
And yeah, this is the A button challenge, which you might have noticed we already pressed A twice.
Oh man, not a good start.
Yeah, so since this is the intro, everyone here knows the intro, I can just mention what the A press even does in this game. The A button even does. Um, if you want, I have a list. Well, let me put it this way: it's basically the context sensitive button. So like B is for swinging your sword, C is for items. We've done the C button challenge last year, uh, and we've done pauses many years. This one's the A button, and it's used for way more things, just depending on what's in front of Link. But just to be annoying, I'm gonna list 30 different things that it could be used for, which might sound like I came prepared, but that's because this is going to be in the YouTube description. So we got opening doors, opening chests, rolling, side hopping, backflipping, jump slashing, talking to NPCs, reading signs, advancing text, selection text boxes, like yes or no choices, picking up and putting down objects, grab, push, pull, put away, returning from first person, learning songs, playing songs, warping with Song of Soaring, speeding up Song and Mask's cutscenes, diving, dropping from ladders or ledges, mounting and dismounting Epona, going faster on Epona, Deku spins, Deku flowers, Goron curling, Zora swimming and surfacing, file select navigation, interacting with the pause screen, snapping pictograph, and zooming the telescope. And that's not exhaustive. There's plenty of other things you can do that I didn't bother listing. So yeah, any questions?
Yeah, how are you gonna not do those things?
Well, it would be worth noting that this is not the first time this challenge has been done. So last year when we did the C button challenge, that was a brand new thing because it was so hard to root. But the A button challenge existed for a long time, and someone by the name of Anop112 did a RTA speedrun of it a few years ago and got 59 A presses. So if you were expecting more than 59 A presses, you're wrong. Well, maybe you're not wrong. That would just be kind of weird. And the two A presses that we already have is you need to press A for choosing a name or choosing any letters or characters on the file select screen. So a one character name is optimal. I just did a lowercase a for low A. And then you also need A to confirm file creation. So those are the two.
And so no A also means we're not gonna see rolling at all. So we get
Yeah,
nice casual walking.
the movement is very painful in this low TED. And it's low TED movement on top of that, so people are going to be very. I can't think of the word. Upset. Synonym of upset seeing this movement.
Can we get a
There's a
counter
lot
on
of.
screen? There is a counter on screen in the bottom right. See two A
Yeah.
presses. That'll be updated throughout the run.
A lot of the normal glitches use A as well. Like, if you want to do ISG, that's an A press, so we won't really. Like, it'll be hard to justify doing ISG. Every hover is an A press because you need A to backflip. So, a lot of glitches are not available, or you could see it as ammo, depending on how you look at it. Like, is it worth spending an A press to do backflip, for example.
Also, do you want to talk about who made this and how long this took?
Yeah, so the authors. So let me just list out all the authors for this. Kaz Talek. That's it.
Cool.
This took me months to do. I always take forever doing preparation for February 21st. But yeah, there were some hard things, some difficult things. Yeah, that answers that question.
There's also progress made on this route up until the last minute. Like, this hasn't been something that's been figured out for a long time. So it's kind of been in the process, I guess, of being developed, and also thinking about preparing this for February 21st at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, a completely like huge shout out to Gigopler for spearheading this challenge and doing like most of the route. And another big shout out to Pushi Misumi for saving a lot of the really hard A presses. Right, another A press. As you can see by the counter, it's blue. Whenever it's blue, the A button is held. So A button is held right now, which means that we can save an A press coming up shortly. Like, we already have a trick up our sleeves to save an A press here.
No, don't say it, Chad.
Alright. So, if you hold A and fall into the Deku flower, you can burrow into the flower. But that only works if you can fall into something. So we couldn't have used it there. So we needed 2 extra presses, one for the door and one to burrow into the flower. And this one, that one is doable, RTA. Watch the sausage if you want to see that. But yeah, so even though this is first cycle, there's already a few things that are done to save A presses, which is pretty cool.
Also, I saw some people asking how you advance text without A. You can advance text with the B button and C up.
Yep. That's good to mention.
Although I believe for text options, that needs to be A, right?
Yeah. If it's a confirmation text box, like yes or no, there's no way around that. You have to press A. Alright, no one count the pauses. Don't count. C-App works because of the A button challenge. That's why.
Yeah, they knew ahead of time that we needed some other way to advance text. So in advance, they let C up advance text just for us. Okay, so that reset there just skips a cutscene because the game auto saves as soon as you load into Clocktown.
Yeah, we wouldn't have done that reset if you had to press A to open the file, but thankfully start works, so it's not a big deal. Alright, so this is the first Lotad in all 10 years of history where there's going to be some speed up. And that's because if we didn't speed it up, you would be sitting here watching this for hours. There is no way to speed up first cycle. So here we go. Like,
Yeah,
and
so
by
we're just walking around.
yeah, the thing is like normally you would like talk to grandma to advance to day 3 or talk to the scarecrow, but those require A presses, so we just have to sit here and wait.
Just looking at the bugs.
I think this is 15x speed. I actually didn't do the video editing for this Thuox. Helpfully made the edit using notes that I gave. So yeah, lots and lots of waiting. And the timer is actually sped up. So when we get to the end, you'll see like what the actual time is, the real time. In fact, fun fact, when even though we speed up stuff, we're actually speeding up the time to be more than half the run. So like if we didn't speed this up, it would be over twice as long as what we're watching right now. So yeah, there was no way that I was gonna just show that entire thing unabridged on this channel. It would be too boring.
Someone asked how long is a cycle in real time. Do you want to go over how time works, like the how long
Yeah.
an hour is and stuff?
Yeah, so game time in the first cycle is 3/5 normal speed. And then once you get the ocarina, as soon as you get the ocarina or something's in the ocarina slot, it'll go to quote unquote normal speed. And normal speed is about 45 real life seconds per hour. There's also inverted time, which is 3 times slower than real time. That's not going to come up this run because playing inverted Song of Time makes it's 2 A presses. Or it's actually 3 A presses because yes to confirm. Because it's in the song and it's also in the yes. Yeah, you're gonna be hearing a lot of Deku walking. You're also gonna hear me pronounce it like Deku a lot. I get death threats every year over that.
The YouTube commenters were already typing up their comment.
Oh, I also forgot to mention, but the reason that we were in the grotto during that wasn't just because we could, but it's technically a little faster to do that. There's no day transitions in the grotto, so you skip like the dawn of the third day thing that wastes time. Alright, so we got, with magic, that was really the only thing we need for first cycle. We have everything we need. So people that are familiar with speedruns know that you can actually skip the Moon's Tier, which is good because Moon's Tier, or actually I guess before I explain that, since we're waiting, we might as well get this heart piece. Like it's good to get some extra health. Then I'll go back to explaining what I was saying. Yeah, so you can make that jump with a carefully placed backwalk since it makes your jump go faster. And then you can just do the same thing here. Okay, yeah,
Nice.
we don't actually need that. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, yeah, so if you were to get Moon's Tier, that would take several A presses. Just because, like, A to zoom the telescope. Astute listeners heard me say that at the beginning when I listed 30 things that A press can do. You won't believe number 30. And, like, burrowing into the flower and all that. But it does take an A press to skip it the normal way that people know. You do, like, a little backflip here. Alright, we skipped another A press.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a very precise jump that you can do to kind of land on that little mask-looking thing that's sticking out on the wall. Like, you actually land on that and then get pushed up. So, yeah, even though it's first cycle, even though it's boring, even though we can't speed it up, there's several things we can do to save A presses.
Yeah, that was first done, I think, with the original Magic Skip video where you have to get a powder keg up onto that ledge, but obviously you can't grab the ledge if you're holding a powder keg, so you have to like do that weird jump. onto that small piece of geometry and just warp up there. That's a really cool trick.
Someone asked, can that cutscene be skipped anyway? The first night of the third day cutscene, that activates no matter where you are in the game, right?
Yeah, if you don't have Ocarina, it'll just play wherever you are.
Yeah, there's
even if you're
no way to avoid
somewhere
that.
else.
Oh yeah, there's like an alternate version of the cutscene depending on where you are, right? Like if you're in Bomber's Hideout or something.
If you're in Termina Field, it's a different cutscene.
Okay, yeah.
I like the idea of someone being upset that they missed the beginning of this run.
Yeah, so this will be uploaded to Kita's channel afterwards.
Yeah. I'll also upload an unabridged version, like, within a week.
The full no speed up version for your viewing pleasure. Seeing Deku just walk around Termina Field. Oh yeah, do we want to talk about why it's the Japanese version?
If I can remember why.
Okay, nice.
There is a reason. Or I know why. It'll come up. Don't worry.
Okay. But yeah, in general, just as like a quick overview, there are a lot of differences in the Japanese version of MM. Like, unlike there are differences between OT Japanese and English, which is just text. Japanese MM actually has a lot of differences. Like, there's differences with power crouch stab. Like, power crouch stab doesn't work in English but does in Japanese. And there's like grottos that only exist in Japanese Deku Palace but not English Deku Palace, and there's a lot of weird changes like that. A lot of like minor mechanic changes.
And the owl saves.
And owl saves, yeah. Owls do not save your game in the Japanese version. In Japanese, the only way to save is Song of Time.
Yeah, so that was 2 more A presses to learn Song of Time. And now we have to actually play Song of Time. So songs are very painful in this category. Yep, 2 more. And then 1 more for saying yes to the dress.
And then that reset again just skips another cutscene, because the first going back in time cutscene is pretty long.
Yep. So you might be wondering why there's a fast forward symbol on the screen. And that's because we're fast forwarding this section. I'm not going to say why, though. You'll have
I love the way.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, you could go ahead. I wasn't saying anything important.
Oh no, I wasn't either. I was just gonna say I love the animation that Deku Link has when you speed up the video.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. It looks so smooth.
60 FPS MM finally.
Oh, this P-Hat battle looks intense.
I'm not holding any inputs there. Like the P-Hat will just push you without hitting you. But yeah, I'm speeding this up, and I'm not going to say why until the thing happens. But let's just say anyone that was watching my stream for the past 72 hours kind of has an idea of what's happening right now.
Yeah, this P-Hat only comes awake during the day and then goes to sleep. I don't know if you already mentioned that. Goes to sleep at night. So we get to see these beautiful day-night cycles. There's no inputs here.
I'm literally just standing still. No inputs, no control stick or anything.
Wait, so is the camera spinning or is the P hat spinning Deku?
The P hat is moving DQ, and then the camera is following.
Okay. Yeah, so this is riveting gameplay right here.
Also, yeah, I want to mention, like, if you feel like this is long, it's much longer than the previous wait that we did. Because that wait, while we were waiting for the clock tower to open, was during first cycle. So the time was moving, what is it, five thirds as fast
Yeah.
as what it's moving now. So we're getting the real 45 seconds per hour thing here. And that's why first cycle is so long. The timer in the bottom left again is the real time that's being sped up along with the gameplay. So that's how much time I'm saving you by doing this. And we're in the grotto for the same reason, because no day transitions to slow down time. Clock says last instead of final on the Japanese version.
Yeah, and midnight is 0 instead of 12. Which you'll see in a moment.
Okay, so what do we need to do waiting this close until moon crash? That's rhetorical. Don't spoil it.
It must be something up there.
The ZFG
Oh,
rapture.
small F. Okay, yeah, should be fine.
Alright, then enter now. And get the moon crash anyway.
Oh, dang.
So there's a reason for doing that we just spent an entire cycle doing nothing and then dying.
Can't wait to find out why. The run that intentionally crashes the moon.
The only run that intentionally crashes the moon. Okay. So when the moon crashes, the Happy Mask salesman talks to you to be like, oh, you have this and this and this going on. Yeah. And that's what we had to do anyway.
So you waited an entire cycle to save one A press talking to Heavy Mass Salesman?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that was all for one A press save.
That was just to avoid pressing A to talk to him.
I feel like this is the point in the run where we start to see the A counter get a lot slower. We start being able to do cool things.
Yeah, this is just a really long first cycle. First cycle is notorious for not being able to let us do what we want to do. And for those wondering, someone might be watching this being like, wait, why am I watching this boring cutscene? I thought this was being abridged. I limited myself to only speed up the sections where we wait for game time. So everything else I don't speed up. So it's just like a normal low-tech experience like every other year.
I have a question. What's the fastest your BizHawk can run when you're trying to run down the game time? Because whenever I do this, I can only go at like double speed, and I have to wait a really long time to get these sections done.
I didn't fast forward it at all because I don't trust it with desyncs. I did like a million sync checks because I didn't want to redo any of this.
So you actually waited like all these.
So you waited it real time and then checked it real time also.
Yes. So that sped up thing that you watched, that hour 42 minutes, I did that in real time and played it back. The blood, sweat, and tears I put in for...
Understandable, because desyncs would be worse.
Alright. Finally, after this text box, we can actually play the game. After a measly hour 43. We're human, first thing we do is turn Deku.
Nice.
Someone in chat, I'm not gonna say who, asked, is backwalking faster? Absolutely.
Yep, sure is.
This isn't just low-tad movement, though. Unfortunately, the reality's worse, which is we have to wait again. There's so much waiting in this low-tad.
Exciting.
Well, it doesn't really matter because on this video, like, you'll see it sped up, so it's not a huge deal. But making this low-tad was such a pain. And we're waiting. Got a stick? That's not important. Otherwise, if it was important, I wouldn't.
You can't speed up the stick text though. I wanted to see that text box.
Just keep in mind that we have a stick. That might be important later.
Okay, we're running laps around Clocktown. Like getting his steps in.
I'm sure someone counted that. The only reason that part wasn't fast forwarded was because the Eno made a funny noise and I wanted to keep that in.
Nice. Good excuse to not speed it up.
Okay. So now we're getting the Great Fairy Mask.
I was wondering why he got the Stray Fairy again.
thankfully we can get this mask without an A press, which is pretty useful, as you'll see later. Like, say if we wanted Bremen mask, we don't, spoiler, we don't, but if we did, that would be an A press. Because it costs A every time you want to talk to an NPC.
Okay, so this is like one of the only masks you can get without an A press.
Yeah, one of the only ones. We're gonna get another one right now, though. Which, this is why we're waiting. We needed to do this before we can do anything else. And the time of day is important, so we have no choice but to wait. We can't do anything more useful during this time, unfortunately.
You can just leave the text box on screen.
Yeah, so now we're kind of doing the opposite thing, where we don't want time to move as fast. Like, we waited and waited, but now we want to keep it as little game time as possible. So having that text box up didn't advance time. Alright, I'm gonna need glitches and stuff to explain this. I didn't come prepared to explain why this works.
Okay. So that was that's a blast mask Hess. So the way Hesses work normally is you do a roll and then you go into ESS position and you get a few frames that we call recoil frames. Well, I call recoil frames at the end of your roll, where in OOT, if you're shielding and your shield gets hit, you get a Hess, but in MM you don't actually need to shield, you can just get hit by any damage source. Unfortunately, there aren't enough frames to use a blast mask normally, but if you fall off a ledge mid-roll, then you get a few more frames to actually use the blast mask to create the damage source and Hess.
Yeah, so we'll only be able to Hess when there's 2 ledges. Like, we have to jump to get an auto roll, and then land and roll off another ledge. So you won't be seeing Hesses that much, unfortunately. The conditions are pretty hard to find.
At least we're seeing backwalks now.
The reason we Hessed there was so we didn't have to talk to the guard to get past him. And this is time stop. If you pull out an ocarina right next to a Gossip Stone and press B, game time will stop moving, which is imperative. We want to, like, it is absolutely necessary that we keep it night 1, which I'll explain later. And as for why we're pushing this Eno, I'll also explain that later, so you'll just have to watch this happen. But the thing that I'm trying to do with the Eno right now takes too long, so that's why I stopped the time. If I could do this without it advancing to day 2, then I would have. But it just makes the trick a lot harder, unfortunately. And by it, the thing that makes the trick harder, I mean stop time. This is harder because the camera's really weird, as you can see. So this would be easier if the camera was normal.
Yeah, the directions that you press when you're in time stop don't make sense to the movement you actually see Link make. So you have to like figure out which analog
really
stick
awful.
position. Yeah.
Also, the levers make it worse. Good old enemy manipulation along with that.
Yeah, this looks fantastic. So I'm sure this was very fun to test.
Another thing I can mention really quick is we basically got, like we were covering earlier how Grief Ray Mask didn't need an A-Press. We also got Blast Mask and Kamaro Mask right after, which also hopefully don't need A-Presses. Very convenient. But you'll see later why we got all 3 of those masks.
Nice levers.
Lever. This lever doesn't care about the low tab. Just wants to get in the way.
I'll explain what's happening shortly. It'll actually be pretty self-explanatory, but I'll still explain a little bit. Is SRM banned? Yes. Absolutely no SRM.
Oh, time stop is over. Something's happening. Nice.
Alright, and that's how you enter Great Bay without an A-Press.
Incredible.
So that's pretty easy to explain. Basically, we push the lever into position, and then jumps in this game, unlike Ocarina of Time, your jump distance is just based off of how fast you're going. And they don't really cap it. So when you explode from Blast Mask, you go really fast, so you could get a long jump. So you get the long jump, and then in the air, the Eno throws a snowball at you, which is enough to boost you over the fence. Pretty simple.
It's lucky the damage invulnerability from the blast mask wears off in time.
Here's another difference between Japanese and English. It doesn't cost an A-press to push Zora. But I believe on English it wouldn't matter because even though you have to press A to push Zora on English, you can like hold A from a previous A press. So they would be fine.
The nice slow walk.
longer than King Zora.
Yeah.
King Zora's always the one that gets the bad rap when Mikao takes way longer. And here's another mask that we could get without the A button. Alright, shoutouts to Anop who played piano during that cutscene.
Yeah. You know, I realized recently, shouts to Enop is now 10 years old. Happened
Wait, is
just
it
over
really?
10 years. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
AGDQ. It was AGDQ 2014, so just over 10 years now.
Yeah, that was not me that said that line at AGDQ. Some people think it is. It's not. Just so you know. Rare backwalk footage.
Nice. Love the backwalking. Oh god, you're not gonna be able to press A as Zora, are you?
You'll see.
Oh.
But anyway, here is why we needed it to be night. So, one of the first tricks I ever found in this game, back in the day, is a little thing called Zora Hover. So when you're in shallow water and the like eats you, sometimes like you'll just be in a state like in a stuck like state where you're inside of him and you could just like hit B because it like thinks you're still in shallow water. So you could just like kill the like and then stay in this state. And then here, if we go back to shallow water, we can dive at the same time as taking off the mask, and then we get stuck in the mask transition, which kind of freezes everything. Like this is what happens when you like put on a mask or take off a mask in this game. Like it kind of like freezes the world. The normal viewer noticed that the sky changed right now, and that's because the time circled around. I don't know how
Yeah,
to word
just
that.
just did a day reset.
Yep. But yeah, but since we're in this like state or like frozen state, we can only really move by punching. So we just have to punch until we enter a new loading zone.
Nice sign.
That's foreshadowing. It means that there's more waiting ahead. I
Exciting.
wouldn't have done that otherwise. So if we gotta wait anyway, then what are you gonna do? There's a lot of waiting in this low tide. We're basically at the mercy of the video game. Like, we want to do certain things, but the game is like, nope, you have to wait. You have to be on my schedule. But yeah, we needed Blast Mask, which was night 1. In order to get into Great Bay, we couldn't have gotten into Great Bay without it, without pressing A. And we needed it to be night 1 when we entered Great Bay, so that we could do this trick to reset to day 1, because we needed to be day 1 in Great Bay. As for why, I'll explain soon.
Oh yeah, so in this state you're unable to move at all. If you just try to like hold the control stick forward, Zora Link he does the walking animation but just doesn't move. So the only way to move is by slashing.
Yeah, so the point of that was to reset the day. So, like I said, we want it to be day 1 in Great Bay for some reason. And right now we're just waiting. We're waiting for time to pass, so it doesn't really matter what we do here. I will speed it up though. I'm not gonna sit around. Oh wait a minute, we did speed this section up, right?
Yeah, this is sped up.
Oh, I was doing a bit. I knew it was sped up. I came prepared.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're valid. Yeah, there we go.
The like solid Navi triangle above the Zora is very satisfying. Just always seeing everyone there.
And we wait. Okay. Don't blink for this part.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were able to escape Great Bay because we can't get over the Great Bay fence from the opposite side, and we need to get out of Great Bay with the we want the Zora mask, which was in Great Bay. And if you enter a grotto during a night transition, it'll just warp you to the default map, which is Mayor's Residence.
How
that's why
tight?
we needed to wait for it to night.
How tight is that timing?
It's 1 frame.
Okay.
The easier way to do it would be a side hop or a backflip.
But you had to make it cool.
Ooh.
No, I can't side hop. It's a A-button challenge.
Oh right, duh.
This happens so much during planning, where one of us would say, "Oh, we just backflip or something to solve a problem."
That happened all the time. Can't stress that enough.
Yeah, that's why it's such a unique challenge, because you have to ignore so much stuff that feels natural, that feels like it's an afterthought.
Shoutouts to this diegetic clock. This is the actual game time on that clock in the background. And the reason we waited is because we can't open the door without pressing A. So we were just standing around in there.
Yeah, luckily, good thing they kick you out.
Yep, it all works out. Okay. So, just to recap, we needed it to be night. We needed to wait for night 1 to get Blast, because we needed Blast to get into Great Bay, and then we needed it to be day in Great Bay, or day 1 in Great Bay. We needed it to not reach day 2, because a day reset will only reset the day. It can't go backwards in time. Oh, I guess before that. We do time stop again at this grotto, and then cancel it. There's a cutscene here that plays, but we can pause buffer our way to the loading zone to skip it. So we just skipped a cutscene. That's what that was. But yeah, as I was saying, we needed Blast to get into Great Bay. We needed it to be day 1 in Great Bay so that we could wait for it to be night 1 Night 1 would be to escape Great Bay, because we want to escape Great Bay without going over the fence. And
then that takes you to Mayor's house, which is the default map.
yeah,
and then you get kicked out of
you get
Mayor's
kicked
house.
out.
Yeah.
So all of that so that it could be Night 1 with both Blast Mask and DP Mask outside of Great Bay.
And I believe there hasn't even been a single A press since post Song of Healing, right?
Yeah, the saying yes to Song of Time was the last A press of the entire run. That's a joke.
Yeah, so that cutscene skip, I just saw someone talk about this in the chat. The cutscene skip in the field, normally you wouldn't have to cancel time stop, you could just run straight into the swamp, and it would still skip the cutscene, but it would preserve the cutscene trigger so that next time you went to that area, it would just play again. So by coming out of time stop and then buffering into the loading zone, you trigger the cutscene, which means that it won't play later.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. I forgot to mention that. So here we're doing some clever Blast Mask long jumps. Because normally you would need to like do some combination of either backflips or Deku flowers to get up here, which cost A.
Cost A what?
Cost
AA.
presses. Blast Mask takes about like 17 seconds to juice up. Yeah, I can also mention this was played on Japanese version 1.1, but it can work on 1.0 as well. Like, there's no version exclusive Japanese glitch in here.
There are actually quite a lot of differences between Japanese 1 and 1.1, but not in this run.
Yeah. The notable thing for our purposes is that if you play on VC, you have to use 1.1. J 1.0 isn't available on Wii VC. And Wii VC has a lot of exclusive glitches because the emulator doesn't crash. So if we were to do something version specific, it would probably be VC specific instead of a difference between 1.0 and 1.1. But thankfully, no such thing in this run.
Man, 3 A presses from the song.
3 A presses for Sonata.
Yeah, and at first I kind of thought, oh, it's talking to the monkey, but then I realized that to start that conversation, you pull out the ocarina, which isn't an A press. It's actually the dialogue yes/no choice, where he asks if you understand, that costs the A press there.
Yeah, songs are brutal in this category. If you need a song, you're basically doing 2x, because you need to get the A presses to learn the song and the A presses to play the song. So if Sonata Skip was viable for low A, that would potentially save 5 A presses.
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive segment though, with no A presses, like getting 2 transformation masks, getting Song of Healing, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
That was a little fun thing. I ran into the fairy and then I took damage and the fairy healed it anyway.
Nice. Does the fairy like continuously heal for like a few seconds after that?
It's like a brief period of time. I don't
Okay,
know
that's
the exact
interesting.
number. So there is actually more waiting. It's just that this time, for the first time in the entire run, we actually had something that we could do while waiting, which was get Sonata. Before all the waiting that we did, we literally couldn't do anything useful while waiting. Okay, and then here's the culmination of everything that we've done to this point. All 3 hours led up to this moment. That was the ISG dance. That's how you get ISG without an A press.
Nice.
We do have to hover though, and every hover is an A press. So this is why we needed Zora Mask. The Zora Mask will save a single hover, so that's why we had to go through all those hoops to get Zora Mask and come back here and have it be night 1.
Oh yeah, so to explain that ISG, so Kamaro Mask and Bremen Mask have a special method of ISG where if you crouch stab and then do the dance, either Kamaro dance or Bremen March, it interrupts the crouch stab just like a sign would, and that gets you ISG.
Yep.
It's actually interesting, like the normally when you get ISG off a sign or picking up something, it's the final frame of the crouch stab animation that you're interrupting. But I believe for Kamaro ISG, you can like interrupt it at any point during that crouch stab.
Yeah, it's much more lenient, which is interesting. The 15 being blue means that A is being held.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, so like I said, this was a culmination of everything. We want to get to the aliens, which only appear first night. So that's why it had to be first night, and that's why we had to get Zora Mask and Blast Mask and everything. Everything led up to this. But we don't have Bow, which is kind of a problem. Normally you shoot the aliens in order to progress.
Can't wait to see how the aliens get beat without the bow.
Yeah, the aliens enter the barn pretty much right now. But thankfully, every time you pause in this game, during the unpause lag, the game clock will advance 1 tick. So if we just keep pausing, eventually enough time will pass. Which we sped up a lot. That was probably about like 24 minutes of pausing or something.
Yeah, it's advancing 1 frame at a time there.
Good time to mention that this is done on BizHawk. The pausing on BizHawk is like 1.5 times slower than VC. So anytime I mention how long pausing takes, I'm talking about BizHawk and not VC.
Okay,
Yeah,
Gigo said it was 27 minutes of pausing.
yeah, I trust that number. So yeah, the aliens gave us a milk bottle. That's really what we wanted. The other bottles would take more A presses than what we spent to get this. And what the heck, the milk might be useful.
Yeah, this was only 2 A presses, right? Just for the hover into...
For the hover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the two backflips to get in. If I were to actually land in that pen, I'd be stuck with no way out. But I didn't land, so it's fine. And now more waiting. There's a lot of waiting in this low TED, if you couldn't tell. And the reason we have to wait is because... Oh, rain dance? Dance to create rain. The reason we have to wait is because there's a boulder blocking our only exit. So we can't leave.
So I just noticed the timer went down by 30 minutes. Was that an editing mistake?
That must be an editing mistake.
Nice.
I didn't notice that.
Just ignore it. Just no one's gonna care about it. A little 30 minutes here and there. Not a big deal.
It's fine.
It's not invalid. The timer does not determine the length of the run, guys. The timer is just a reference.
When someone's live split crashes, the speedrun is invalid.
The collision on top of this carriage, for some reason, is way higher than the actual textures. So it kind of looks like Link's flying, but he's actually technically on top of the carriage here.
You got lots of dancing time in this run.
Yep.
Kamaro Mass fans eating good.
There's no reason that I couldn't have sped this up, but what the heck? Why not include some play around in the run? How often do you get to see this trick? So this actually moves, so you have to like keep walking if you don't want to fall off. This is what we call Dyna Poly. Is the sound for the carriage moving the same as the drawbridge for Hyrule Castle moving? Yes, and I can't unhear it now.
Nice showing this off.
So, in case it wasn't clear, we skipped across the loading zone. Kita skipped across the loading zone here. So we're actually behind where the loading zone would have been. And I don't know why they have this in OT and MM, but they always have these weird, well, not in all cases, but they like to have these weird pushy floors behind loading zones.
Yeah,
Kinda, like,
it's really
move you in a
strange.
direction.
Yeah, they're in a few places in both OG. I know there's one in like Gerudo Fortress and Stone Tower also. Yeah, it's really strange. But it's fun to mess around with.
I think there's one behind the entrance to Great Bay as well.
So on day 3, the boulder is going to be gone. But here's a
It looked
glitch I
like-
didn't know about.
Oh wow.
Which is, if you do the Kamaro dance before the day transition, the music keeps playing, and I had no idea.
Nice.
I didn't
That's
know
very
about
cool.
that either.
Yeah, that's new to me.
It might be Japan exclusive.
Yeah, wouldn't
I'm not
surprise
sure.
me. Oh, and it even continues through transitions. Nice.
Only this one because it's the same music. It doesn't change
Okay.
the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be clear, it looked like the boulder was gone there on day 2, but it just doesn't have any textures from the other side. It still has its collision, and we wouldn't have been able to get past.
Oh man, are we doing this again?
With current knowledge, no.
Oh. We just have a pet then?
You'll see. Alright, get him stuck behind that rock.
Nice.
Low A exclusive trick. That one is a lot harder than the Eno one. But the Enos are only available at night.
Well, I guess at least easier to set up, right? Since you don't have to push the Eno.
I mean, yeah, it's easier to get them in position, but harder to actually get over the fence.
Yeah.
Could we have done that the first time? I don't... Is the choo-choo there at night? I wasn't paying attention. I don't think choo-choos are there at night. I'm getting conflicting messages in chat. But
I mean,
some
of them definitely disappear, but I don't know if they all disappear.
I don't trust chat. Like, the people in chat will be very confident about wrong things.
And bottle duping going on. So that was what, bottle duping over Styx and Great Fairy Mask?
Yep. That's just a matter of using an item when you... How do I word this? It tries to put the empty bottle over the last item that you used. So if you get it to like do that buzzing sound, it'll put it over that item slot.
Yeah, in that case it was doing ESS and then pressing a bottle button during ESS. It kind of delays actually dropping the bottle, and then you can press a different item to have it dupe over that. So in that case it was Great Fairy Mask and Deku Styx. Oh yeah, so the A press was being held the entire time just for the swimming here.
Yep, I was gonna cover that. Swimming is one of the few things where having the held state will give you a swim. So yeah, the reason we got Great Fairy Mask was just to have a bottle slot on the mask screen. So it did matter that that's a mask we can get without pressing A. Okay. So we want to get into Pirate's Fortress. But if we were to hover, like a speedrun normally would, obviously that's more A presses. And if we were to take the sewers, we don't have Goron Mask, but if we did, that would still be an A press. Because there's blocks in the sewers.
Yeah, and even doing the Goron Pound alone would be an A press.
But yeah, don't blink. Somehow this is gonna help. Somehow. Any second now. And now. It can't be that much longer, probably. Probably not. Nothing happened yet because people are blinking. You have to not blink.
Tattle lapse. $11.
Alright, do your prediction.
Prediction, how many tattle laps? Okay. Quick 30-second prediction. I don't even know. What numbers do I choose? Give me numbers.
Don't ask me. I
Wait.
know the answer.
Oh wait, no, this is... There's already a prediction in... Wait, we were supposed to not do the prediction for... Whatever. Okay, no prediction. Okay, just predict in chat how many tattle laps.
So if there's an extremely astute viewer, they'll be able to tell just by looking at the screen what's happening here. And if you can't see it, you're normal. You're just a normal person. You're built normal. But if you can see it, you're built astute. Let's just say that there's a new Dynapoly glitch that everyone's talking about. And it's this.
Oh man, Dynapoly, the special word of the month.
All the OOT runners talking about Dynapoly, they're actually talking about this trick that you're watching right now. Oh, did I say Dynapoly? I meant Dynapoly. I don't know what makes chat happy, but however pronounced things is always wrong. Are you looking for an open relationship? Because I'm Dyna B Poly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Thank you.
I disagree.
The 50-50 split.
I don't remember how many laps this actually is, so...
Surely we're getting there.
Any second now.
Okay, so what's the excuse for not speeding this up?
What's the excuse for not speeding up Twin Rova?
True, I guess.
Sometimes you just gotta sit it out.
Oh, something happened.
Don't blink.
Oh.
Alright. You can blink now.
Nice.
Yeah, so the viewers that were built astute noticed without me even saying that you're moving very, very slowly on the boat. And eventually you just fall off. And we were positioned directly over the draft from the sewers, which works the same way as an updraft. So if you close the text box, you'll get the Deku flowers, and then that's how we get in without an A press. Rare Hess.
Nice.
Yeah, so we skipped a door that way. So this is a reason why we're on Japanese, by the way. The room is different on this version, which is... the hookshot room is connected to this room, so we could just fall down through the back here.
Yeah, for some reason on English they put a wall there.
Okay. So now we have Hookshot, which is the main character of A-press saves, for better or worse.
Nice.
So don't worry if you didn't understand that. You'll have plenty of chances to see it again. So eventually we'll explain it when I feel like it. Unless someone else feels like it, in which case please do.
I guess I can partially explain it. So there's this glitch with hookshot and milk, or specifically you have to drink milk while having a regular bottle in your hand. And MM specifically has a weird thing with drinking milk, where if you have an empty bottle on a C button, then Link won't put away the bottle after drinking the milk. And then if you try to use hookshot before drinking the milk, it creates a glitch with the hookshot where it needs to be shot, but it's not in Link's hand anymore, and you take it out again, and it sort of makes a second hookshot. And these hookshots can interact in a cool way. In this way, if two different hookshots hit something, if one hookshot hits something after the first one, then Link starts floating like this. There's multiple different uses of remote hookshot like this. But yeah, it's a very cool trick.
I just realized now that the seagulls are like at your height.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that too.
Or maybe they're always there because of Tingle. I can't remember.
No, they're definitely lower. It's probably like your height plus some units.
They're above me, Cal, before you get the Zora mask.
Yeah, but we have it.
So I think they just go up there after that, don't they?
Oh, maybe.
Or did they move? I didn't see that.
That was a way to skip an A press from opening the door. That's why we did the remote hook there. And if that remote hook explanation was confusing, don't worry, because we can explain it again later. And if it wasn't confusing, good, because ZFG is about to explain equip swap.
Yeah, equip swap is an easy one. So if you hover the item cursor over an item and then change menu screens and then go back to it, on the first possible frame, you can move the cursor. If you press up left or up right and the item button you want to equip it to, it'll equip the item that the cursor was last over the first item slot that the cursor moves to. In this case, it's the egg being equipped over the ocarina slot. And so this both dupes the item and also puts a bottle, because you're emptying the bottle, it's putting a bottle over ocarina.
Yep. And we secretly already did a equip swap to get to reuse milk. So we can reuse milk over and over for remote hook by doing a equip swap over the ocarina slot. So the bad news is we have to learn another song. The good news is there's no A presses in this song. We need this one to beat the game.
Bad news is we have no ocarina now.
Yeah, that is bad news. So wait, how do we get the song?
Oh.
We show the fish another fish.
Nice. Was that time stop? Did time stop activate that?
Yeah, so bottle time stop. So we went over gossip time stop. Bottle time stop is when you empty the bottle and shield at the same time. You'll get the same time stop effect. But if you do that in front of actors where you could pull out the ocarina, like this, it actually acts as an ocarina. So it'll work in front of a gossip stone. It'll work in front of this guy.
Nice.
Anywhere where you expect ocarina.
Yeah, I was actually expecting ESSOI there. Didn't realize that time stop works too.
And yeah, we did all that fancy stuff to get in, but we had no way of getting out. So A press to open the door to leave. At the end of the run, I'll go over potential A press save ideas. Because who knows, maybe in the future that one could be skippable. Yeah, so we don't have Ocarina. This time we use ESS Ocarina, like CFG foreshadowed. On purpose. He foreshadowed that on purpose.
Yeah, I knew all along.
This is a good time to use the bathroom. Could we have skipped this cutscene? Maybe. I just didn't feel like it. Maybe we could have skipped it. I do have these bathrooms, so I'll be right back.
Alright.
Hopefully nothing crazy happens while I'm gone.
Surely nothing special will happen.
Actually, you know what? I'll wait until we beat the boss. That'll be another bathroom break.
Alright.
Just in case. I don't want to miss something crazy. Could we have skipped this cutscene? Maybe. Didn't feel like it.
Wouldn't have saved an A press, so no reason.
And when I say skip the cutscene, I don't mean like fast forward the video and post. I just mean like there's actual speedrun tricks to do it.
Yeah, but if it's not saving an A press, there's just no reason.
True.
This is a really interesting map that this cutscene happens in. I walked here on emulator the other day, and everything has collision, like the whole dungeon. You can like climb up it and stuff. It's
Oh,
really,
is it? Oh
really
yeah,
interesting.
this is a completely separate map. I never even thought of that. Now I kind of want to mess around with it myself. Oh, more remote hookshot.
Anytime Link drinks milk, you know something's about to go down. So, an important application of remote hook is if you swing a bottle or equip over hookshot right before you hook onto something, you'll get into the Zora hover state. And then using a cutscene item over the loading zone lets us get in. You can actually do a hook slide out of bounds to get to this loading zone, which is a little faster, but that only works on VC. It'll crash on N64. So I prefer to keep it so that it'll work on like J1.0 and 1.1.
Do you actually know the reason for the crash?
I don't know. It's just if you're out of bounds, like the same unknown reason why Chu hovering out of bounds crashes on N64
Yeah.
and O2.
Yeah.
So this Georg fight's a little tricky because we can't swim without pressing A. If we were holding A, it would have been fine, but we couldn't have been holding A because we had to play the song cutscene, or the song to get into the temple. So you just need a harder boss fight in order to not cut there later while you're holding A. And the reason for the mask transitions is to surface without pressing A. We're stuck on the sea floor because you normally have to press A to surface, but taking off the mask does the same thing.
Also nice fog glitch with the Zora magic thing.
Thank you. Alright, now I'm gonna use the bathroom for real. I'll be right back.
But yeah, there's a little known old fog glitch with Zora mask where if you are using the magic, the Zora magic thing underwater and use a transformation mask, then there's like this blue fog everywhere. Why that looked a bit weird after surfacing. And now we get a lovely cutscene. A.
Songs are just the enemy in this speedrun.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
It's too bad that is so much more reliant on songs than OOT, because in OOT, aside from like Lullaby, which doesn't even have an A press, a lot of songs can be bypassed in some way. Like there's not nearly as many song requirements in OOT compared to
I'm back.
Just in time.
Oh, the A press counter went up.
Sure did. The unavoidable song A press. Has there been a low A press run done for OOT? I think people worked on low A press for OOT a while ago, but I don't think it was I don't think a low tad was made or like something that really tried to optimize A press. I think it was, I mean, if you assume SRM, it's probably like very close to 90% SRM anyway.
I think Danny B might have done one.
Yeah, I think he's the one that did low A press. I want to say it was like defeat Ganon that had like 20, somewhere between 20 and 30 A presses.
So we need to escape Great Bay again. We could wait for night to do it like last time, but now we have the power of milk. Not mad.
Nice.
So, yeah, all the grottos are on the same scene, just unloaded. So you could go from one to another. That one was the lens cave.
We haven't seen that yet, right? The hookshot jump using.
Yeah, I think that's the first hookshot jump with remote hookshot.
Yeah,
so many applications. So cool.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, a remote hook can do like pretty much everything. It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, you got hookshot jump, hookshot hover, hookshot slide to go through walls.
The Zora hover state.
Yeah. There's a lot of it's a very interesting and versatile glitch. Oh yeah, and Gim, of course.
Can't forget Gim. The SRM of unbanned glitches. Ban that guy?
Okay, it's not nearly that. It's good versatile, not overpowered versatile.
Yeah, it's like more movement options, not rewriting game memory values.
Just to be clear, you're local recording this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always local record every stream I do.
Good.
I can never trust Twitch and YouTube.
There's a song on the wall. We won't be playing that because that costs a.
Yeah, that's the only reason why you wouldn't do that.
Rare Hess. I'm pretty thankful that we've had like any locations to do this at all. Like, what are the odds that there's a ledge where you could jump onto another ledge that's right next to the floor? The astute viewer might have been wondering why there were no enemies in Termina Field. Which the more astute viewer knows from previous viewings that if you don't have Ocarina, like, there's no enemies in Termina Field.
Yeah, the game essentially treats whether or not you have Ocarina as the first cycle flag. Or like whether to treat you as if it's first cycle or not. And since Bottle is over Ocarina, it thinks, oh, you are totally in first cycle right now. Oh, milk is equipped.
Uh-oh. That was just a heal.
Another Zora hover.
Yeah, this time we're using the Zora hover application. It's useful because Like, we could punch in the air, and then if there's something that's, like, slightly higher elevation, it'll give us extra height. So I would have done a hookshot jump and a recoil off the torch that's, like, right here. But that can't reach far enough to where we wanted to go, so Zora hover was the way to do it.
Just ignoring the owl. Don't want to press A to talk to him.
Yeah, Song of Soaring costs A to get to talk to the stone, but also A to warp. So we won't be using it. And we won't be using Song of Time either. We have to do everything this cycle. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not, but that's really important to mention, that we're stuck in one cycle.
Yeah, you better go fast now. You've got, what, 8 hours to beat 3 dungeons? While
It's
walking forward and not rolling.
It's fine. That was a really precise jump.
Nice.
Like, simply doing a long jump from there isn't enough. You have to be like exactly the right spot for it to work.
I remember you talking about that. And didn't you like try a bunch and then come back to it the next day and get it like straight away? Something.
Yeah, it took me forever. I couldn't get it, and then I tried it and got it first try the next day. Like, I didn't use frame advance or anything. I just tried it RTA and got it. And we're doing another pause buffer to delay the cutscene. Because this is the cutscene that makes the Woodfall Temple rise. But we're not ready for it just yet.
It's so cool that you can delay cutscenes like this in this game. I wish you could do
Yeah.
that in OOT.
It's such an interesting mechanic. It may not look like it, but Deku is moving very fast right now. That recoil gives really high speed.
Yeah, and the momentum is completely stopped when you let the cutscene play. Otherwise, it would have been way less pauses if the momentum was kept. But that's just to get to Woodfall without pressing A.
Yeah, that skips the Deku flower.
So remote hook could have been used to do all that, but I like some variety. If we could do something without remote hook, I prefer doing it that way. Because you'll see plenty of it this run. Ooh, that was an A-press. Well, hopefully there's not another one for a while. But because I said that, it's obviously telegraphing that there's going to be another one.
You're just setting me up for disappointment.
Well, surely that's the last one. Although, because I said that, you obviously know there was another
Not
one.
again.
I think it's happening because people are still blinking from earlier.
True. Ooh, I think I saw someone blink, so there's another one.
Someone has no clips in any of those zones. So clipping wouldn't work because you need to actually load this room in order to load the fight and the chest properly. So even if you can clip out of bounds in the other rooms, but you can't load this room without opening the door. You You can
Hey,
leave the
very
room though with
impressed.
dying.
Yeah, that's hopeful. So yeah, bow is 4 A presses. And we only need 1 arrow in the entire run.
That's unfortunate.
So this is very much not trivial. I'll try my best to explain it, but it's not even fully understood. But just pay attention to what's been happening so far. Alright, so we get the Zora hover state to go through the wall, and then now we can punch our way out of bounds. But the thing that was special about this, that makes it not trivial, like what we're doing, is because when we do a hook slide, so we will be doing a hook slide, it depends on the angle that you have before you start the remote hook. But something you can do is that when you set up remote hook, like when you drink the milk and have the hook shot in hand, if you pull out bottle, it'll come out like a bow, which only the astute viewer noticed. The normal viewers didn't notice that. So if we went to a very, very specific spot on the wall, I guess the left wall or the right wall, depending on which orientation you look at it from, pulling out the bottle actually changes the hookshot's pull position. So like where it'll start pulling you from. How do I word this?
So it's changing the direction that the future hook slide is gonna go.
Yeah, we wanna be able to have the same angle to like that to be able to get out of bounds to do the Zora hover, and also to be able to do the hook slide at the end to get into the boss loading zone. Also, even though things are unloaded, we can still climb. The climbing is not.
Yeah, because
tied to that actor.
climbing is actual collision, not an actor, which is neat. And then there's
So
the hook slide through the door.
it's kind of a miracle that that trick works, and it's pretty hard to explain because we don't really even fully understand how the bottle changes. Like, we understand that it changes the pull position of the hookshot, but the way it behaves is kind of like hard to pin down exactly, hard to determine like what's gonna happen. But it's very lucky that the torch is in the position that it's in for it to work the way it does. So the short answer is magic. We got ISG there because Link automatically picks up the item. You don't press A to do that. But yeah, basically, normally when you pull out the hook shot, it'll just go from like where you're standing, but the bottle makes it go in a line between where you started and where you pulled out the bottle. It'll stretch the hitbox. And since we were right next to the torch, it just hits the torch on the first frame. Alright, what dungeons are left? Snowhead and
Stone Tower.
Forest Temple. Stone Tower.
Oh, the purple on the grass, the water grass there is cool. I never noticed that. Is that like that's probably like a night 3 thing, I guess.
I love the colors in this game. Like,
Yeah.
the colors of like the water and the sky both change depending on the day and time of day. So keep in mind we can't do Song of Time as mentioned earlier. But we can jump in the water from high up so that we're underwater, so that when we put on the Zora mask, we're in shallow water. And from there, we can do the same trick as earlier to get into this mask transition state to reset the day.
Yeah, since again the game can't do the regular day transition in that state, so it just resets the day, and then it's back to dawn of the third day.
Yep. So that's how we get around that constraint. So yeah, no Song of Time for like when we needed to get aliens earlier. That's why we had to do all that complicated stuff. And day resets only reset the current day. So there's no going back to first day. That's why it was so important to do things in the order that we did them. We couldn't change the order at all.
Yeah, and yes, that works on any day. It just will reset only that day. Earlier in the run, it was done to reset day 1.
Look at this movement. This is what low A is all about.
Smooth back walking. Actually, how many days have actually passed in the game in this run so far? Were you counting how many days the cycle was?
Someone in chat counted.
I think
There's no need to count anything if you have Twitch chat.
has it been 2 or 3 day resets?
It's only been 2-day resets, right?
Okay.
I was gonna say 2, yeah.
So then yeah, it should be 11th day. Or fifth day of this cycle, 11th day total.
Because we did aliens on day 1 and then just waited out till day. We didn't do any day.
Yeah, there was no day 2 reset. Why are we avoiding A in the first place? Because we can.
That's the whole point of the challenge, is to not press A. So we could press A, it would just give us a worse score.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of these challenges in general. Like these are all like stuff like low A press, low pause, low C. They're all like arbitrary challenges that people just thought, hey, this is because, you know, OT and MM have such a large variety of glitches, and you know, speedrunning already uses a lot of really cool stuff, but there's also a lot of cool stuff that doesn't really get used in regular speedruns. And these like kind of arbitrary weird categories are ways we can find uses for these really weird and obscure glitches, and then also create like its own interesting challenge, even if it might be like a weird arbitrary challenge, but they end up becoming very interesting, and that's why we love them.
Yeah, I sometimes get people say on videos of glitches things like, is this useful? Anything can be useful if you create the right challenge.
Yeah.
Or the other way of looking at it is art useful? Because this is what this is.
Exactly.
This is a
Yeah,
work of art.
this is art.
The answer to is this useful on any of my videos is always no.
Oh, you just let the fish die.
On purpose.
Wow.
Keep a note of that.
Yeah, thankfully Zora hover does not get affected by the wind.
Oh, so is it actually faster to get into Snowhead by going up these slopes instead of like going up the ramp the normal way?
Probably.
Never thought of that.
It's cooler.
Yeah, definitely cooler. Yes, I'm taking notes for Rando. I'm going to time this for Rando. The black bar at the top, I believe that's just an emulator thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. MM is notoriously not the best with emulators, especially with visual things.
Well, the same one is in Ocarina of Time with the Haunted Wasteland.
Yeah. Similar effect.
It's just a video plugin. Alright, so we want to skip this block, because that would be an A press. Thankfully, you could just walk right through it. Then we use action swap. That one's kind of hard to explain, action swap.
Yeah, use the tattle text there. So you can if you have a first-person item in your hand and then switch to something on the first frame that links switching to a different item, you can use the tattle text to interrupt it. And you can create a lit arrow to be spawned instead of using the bow in a normal way, which melts the ice.
Yeah, and then that hookshot jump there was super cool. Jumping all the way up Snowhead. And then easiest boss key skip. Just a recoil flip out of bounds there.
So yeah, no fire arrows.
Just looking at Goat, checking him out. Oh, there it is.
Another action swap. That text only comes up because we don't have the ocarina. We have a bottle over the ocarina slot, and whenever that is the case, Tattle will occasionally talk to you, tell you that you need to hurry up.
Yeah, I think it's 30 seconds after a new scene load.
Doing this without the side hop looks so awkward.
So earlier I mentioned you only need one arrow. I don't know if that's true. But I assume the one arrow that we do for sure need is to melt Goat with the lit arrow. I feel like all the other ones are probably skippable. I just never looked into it, because we need arrows anyway.
Surely.
I don't know if the first action swap is skippable.
It might be. Like, all you have to do is open one door, which is through the ice. Because couldn't you get hot spring water? Yes.
Yeah, I guess if hot spring water was in a duped
Yeah.
bottle, yeah. Well, actually, can you get hot spring water without an A press? Or yeah, you should be able to clip into the Twin Islands one, right?
Maybe, maybe not.
Or wait, no, I think that would... Well, the Twin Islands one, I think that would actually require an A press for action swap, right?
You could probably do like a jump recoil thing.
Yeah,
you
that'd
can do
probably
the thing
work.
where you recoil flip off the post with a backflip. You could maybe do one with like a jump off the post.
Yeah, I was thinking of that, and then I realized can't backflip. But then, yeah, I guess roll recoil. I guess that should work.
Or not roll recoil, just jumping off the
Yeah,
platform.
Oh yeah,
jump
And then
just jump
shielding.
recoil. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like even though we use like a bunch of arrows this run, I think the goat one's the only one that we need. But like I said, I haven't looked into it because it didn't matter yet.
Yeah, and you can't melt goat with hot spring water, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Or maybe fortunately.
only fire arrows or the action swap lit arrow. There's nothing else that works, right? Even theoretically.
Bottle adventure to skip the goat intro cutscene.
Oh yeah.
You can do that, but you can't do that in the room that has goat, so it kind of doesn't matter.
Oh okay.
Like it gets unset when you leave the area.
So you'd have to be able to catch hot spring water in goat's room.
Yeah, something like that.
Surely that could be doable somehow. Actually, I think in an extremely specific rando situation that could actually happen. If like you have randomized bottles on, but that'd be ridiculously specific.
You know what item? I guess the
I think
magic pots.
I would think like if a fish is randomized to be hot spring water.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then you drop a fish in there and then catch it, and then it's hot spring water.
I regret not playing the song on that wall. I should have done it.
Actually, out of curiosity, what bottle adventure item do you need to do for that goat unfreezing thing?
I don't remember, but I do have a BA website. So you could check like what every bottle adventure does for every item.
I will look that up later.
Okay. So even the astute viewer didn't notice this, but there was a cool thing where you can use the backside of the hookshot to get on top of the chest, which Pushy recently, yeah, Pushy in chat even said the backwards hookshot shot to get on top of the chest. Like the hookshot target goes behind Link's back, which is pretty cool. Only the ascended viewer noticed that. Skip some punches.
Nice, much faster.
Yeah, the direction of when we started the remote hookshot mattered to get him to slide this way. For those that never played this game before, this is iconic hand. This is one of the oldest tricks in the game, skipping ice arrows by doing a precise hookshot.
One of the oldest tricks in the book of the game's glitches. Finally, night 3. I don't remember if we reset again. I guess we'll find out.
Stay tuned. I don't even know where to begin with this room. I guess it'll kind of speak for itself.
I think astute viewers who have been paying attention to how remote hookshot has been used this run can probably take a guess at how we're gonna get up here.
I don't think anyone's ready for this, actually.
Big hookshot jump.
We want to kill these guys. Write that down. Actually, don't write that down in case someone sees it and gets concerned. Just think about it in your head.
Oh no, you fell.
On purpose. Okay, so we're gonna start another Zora hover as expected. Even the normal viewers expected that. They're like, huh, I'm normal, I knew that was coming. So here's a cutscene. Once we get off this thing, the cutscene will play. So we're just gonna delay that with pauses. And
So-
we're fast forwarding this. This is all pause buffered. Even though you can't see
Nice.
it. So
Yeah.
this would take about 20 real-life minutes. 21, but who's counting? So that height that we can get up to is pretty much the exact height we need for what we're about to do here. Which is any second now. Dropping the normal spring water that we caught earlier. Only some people notice that we caught that. And that gives us, that like works the same way that the light arrow does. So
Yeah,
what's a flip stone tower?
For whatever reason, spring water has light arrow properties.
Yeah, so the speed up didn't really do it justice, just how ridiculous that was. And it's not only ridiculous that you have to do it, but like actually doing the inputs for the low TED was like unbelievably excruciating. Like you have to pause buffer and do the punches every 8 or 9 frames depending on whether you're what's the word? Depending on whether you're holding the stick or not. Alright, be honest in chat. Who noticed that we didn't equip swap the milk? Nobody. That was a trick question. No one noticed that.
I didn't notice.
That's the last use of milk in the run. Alright, ban everyone that lied. Everyone that said me is lying.
Yeah, you would never lie, would you?
That was so cool.
Yeah,
Went through,
I
like,
love
4
that.
different routes.
I love that DK skip, yeah.
So I actually made a mistake here. I forgot to refill arrows because I forgot I even used arrows. I used arrows on Go. And I didn't want to redo that entire 21-minute hover because that was excruciating. So you just have to deal with this.
Nice.
You do only need 1 arrow. Like, you could do this with Blast Mask. And I would despite you, but you said this after I did the low tech. 4 arrows. We need 10. Got a hit with blasting. Got an arrow. Just barely got that before he went back in the sand. Gee, I took a bad situation and I made it entertaining. Purely for love of the game. Alright, that's probably all of the remains, unless there's a 5th one I forget about. Wait, why am I still holding A? I don't even remember. Probably no reason, actually.
Surely it's not important.
No, I think it's actually no reason, because it's not like when I was making the low TED, I was actually holding the A button down. I just had a script that just held A for me. And with me, you never know. I could be lying or I could be telling the truth. It's kind of impossible to say. Alright. So... yes, I was scrolling my mouse. That's what everyone was thinking. No Hess is here. It might seem like there's a double edge somewhere, but there's not, unfortunately.
Here's what the held A press is for.
Oh, it was on purpose. I legitimately had no idea. I thought I just forgot.
It wasn't a bit.
It was on purpose this whole time. Oh wait, no, there's actually a legitimate reason. Like, even beyond that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, there's something important that we have to do before beating the game, which I completely forgot about, which is getting the ocarina back.
Oh yeah, that's probably important.
Someone explain Gim, not me.
Actually, before that, maybe we should explain why you can't just use ocarina items for Oath.
Yeah.
I think maybe we could wait for that one.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, keep that in mind. The multi low-tad mental notepad thing. Just keep that in your notepad between low-tads.
So if you, for this trick, which is Gim, if you pick up an item, but delay the animation where Link turns around and holds it in the air, then it's kind of in this delayed state, where if you jump into water, then as soon as Link surfaces, he'll hold the item up and you'll actually get that and it'll put it into his inventory. But if in that time where you're delaying the item pickup, you either walk in front of a chest or walk in front of something that can be picked up in a bottle, such as spring water, it will change the in-game value for what you're going to get when you surface from the water, which is exactly what happened there. And you saw a blank text box instead of the text box of the item that you delayed. What was that item? Was that stick? I didn't quite see.
That was Deku Nut. So it was important
Nuts.
that we never got a Deku Nut. Because you wouldn't get the Git
Right,
item
yeah.
if you had it before.
5 hours of
the way
never
to-
picking up a nut.
The way to delay that is to get a kind of an underwater state using Zora swimming onto those vines, which is why we went all the way over to that section with the vines.
Yeah, the game time happens to be perfect. We didn't need another day reset. We could just walk into the clock tower.
Yeah, I think the GIM table, like the list of all items you can get with GIM, is dominated by lots of like ocarinas and light arrows, I think, if I remember correctly. There's a few other things in there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of ocarinas.
It's a lot more limited compared to OOT's GIM table for some reason.
Ocarina, Light Arrow, and there's some glitched items that don't do anything useful, except crash the game.
On MM3D though, you can get the fishing pass, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow. The most important item.
Yeah.
The item that everyone forgets exists.
To this day, I don't even know what the MM3D fishing pond looks like. Like, I just have not seen any of that game. No one show me?
Yeah, it's you're fine. No, you're not missing out.
I know I'm fine. I'm sleeping good. I'm not losing sleep over that.
Yeah, so one more A press for Oath. I wonder if there's any more.
Yep, Oath was an A-press, and there might be more, might not.
Oh, I guess talking to Majora Kid is probably unavoidable A press, unless.
No, continue. Let's hear what you think the final A-press is.
I think it's talking to Majora Kid and saying yes.
Or the final A-press count, I mean.
Oh, then right now, with my current knowledge, I believe it is 28.
Why 28?
Because you probably need to talk to Majora Kid. Unless there is some new tech to get into the Majora fight without talking to Majora Kid.
Interesting. No comment.
So you're saying it's either 2 or 0?
I believe.
So it's an even number, basically.
Highly likely.
If we have an odd number, you're going to be disappointed.
Very. Unless somehow.
Unless I'm not disappointed.
Unless somehow there is, maybe Majora's text box is unique in that some other button press allows for accepting the text prompt and not A.
Stay tuned. We have to add something to keep in mind during this cutscene. Something to mull over while we wait.
What is after this? After this, we actually have a bonus slow tad. There will be a second one afterwards.
After the entire credits, though.
Yes.
It's a good time to file your taxes.
These cutscenes are so long. I don't know how speedrunners do it.
True.
I mean, at least this is at the end of the run, so you don't have to watch it every run, but considering first cycle stuff is still even worse at the beginning of the run. Yeah, it's not great.
I can't speedrun anything that has more than like a 5-second cutscene. I get too impatient.
5 seconds.
Man, even Mario 64 is too long.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I should try TP.
TP is so nice, being able to actually skip, basically. I mean, there's still a few cutscenes you can't skip, but it's very nice overall.
Yeah, but the entire game's a cutscene if you think about it.
Sure.
Alright.
Oh, there's 27 and 28. Oh no, I
29.
forgot. There's 3.
It's. Are you sure?
I
Are
was
you
wrong.
really sure?
I can't believe I forgot that he asked you 2 questions and not just 1.
But 29 is a really great number to end it on because the previous record before we revived the A button challenge was 59 A presses that NOP did. So 29 is the threshold where it's less than half. Purposely didn't pick up the arrows to make the fight more interesting.
I love the pulling out stick and not using it.
I don't
Oh
remember
no,
why.
we power grab stab, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason. Yeah, I forgot power crouch stab existed until I got to Majora somehow. It's because I never played on the Japanese version.
I mean, it probably wouldn't have been useful any other time, right?
If we had to get
Maybe.
Fire Arrow, it would have been, like for Wizard, but we didn't need it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Twin Mold. If you wanted to...
If we skipped arrows.
Yeah, if you wanted to get in the perfect position for a crouch stab instead of a blast mask.
But it's interesting because you can't store a jump slash damage because that requires an A press, so I guess
Yeah.
just normal stick slash.
So, fun fact about this Wrath fight is that I was gonna do like I was going to low-tat it, like do frame advance and stuff to make it look nice, but I did it RTA first try, so I just kept it because it was really funny to me. So somehow nothing shot me during this. I just was able to get the whole thing. Alright, time.
And there we go.
That was the fastest 5 hours of my life. Okay, well, 29 A presses. Now is a good time to talk about potential A press saves. So in Milk Road, we used 2 A presses for the 2 hovers to get past the boulder. But if there's another way past the boulder, that would obviously help. Like, even if we had to roll, like, for instance, if we had bombs instead of Blast Mask, we could use a bomb and 1 A press to roll to do an A slide past the boulder. That's something that would work.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about A slide. Unfortunately, there's no like ledges you could do a bomb roll or like a Blast Mask roll. A slide, I guess.
No, there's nothing you can fall off there, really. It's all just slopes.
Yeah, so if we had bombs, I would save an A press, but bombs take like 4 A presses, because getting into the bomb shop and pressing A to buy bombs and all that. So that's one potential save. Let's see, exiting Marine Lab. We can get out of bounds, and there is out of bounds. Is spin attack has a thing? Not that I know of. There is out of bounds water. So like if you're Deku and you touch out of bounds water, you'll just like warp up to the top of it. And there is a tank right next to the door. So theoretically, we could get out of bounds in 0 A presses, which we can do, turn Deku, fall in void, and land in the water. All of that we can do. The thing is, there's no out of bounds water, it's all inbounds. So we don't actually get to warp and stay out of bounds to reach the door. But who knows, maybe with more precision, like we can do that trick to save that A press. I could maybe see it happening. A big one would be entering Woodfall without Sonata. It takes 5 A presses for Sonata, so the loading zone for Woodfall does exist. It's just underground, and out of bounds water voids you. But in a hook slide, it wouldn't. But we don't have a way currently of doing that. So that's a potential up to a 5 A press save.
Alright, some people are asking about why not OI on the top of the clock tower. Basically, it just doesn't... Oath doesn't work properly if you don't have Ocarina in your item slot.
Yeah. Don't explain why more than that, but it won't work.
We'll save the full explanation for the next one.
So there's ideas for Sonata skip, but none of them work currently. But yeah, basically if we could do a hook slide out of bounds, or some way to like keep our height out of bounds, we could enter the loading zone. So there's potential for that.
Yeah, it's surprisingly close and far away, because the loading zone for Woodfall does actually exist before the dungeon is raised, which in like most cases, if the loading zone exists, you can almost always get to it, but Woodfall is this one case where there are still things preventing it because of both out of bounds water voiding you and also not being able to... If out of bounds water didn't void you, it'd be easy. And then if you could get lower height with the Zora hover, it'd also be easy.
There is one way to skip Sonata by wrong warping to a door, but it's not A press friendly in any way.
Yeah.
And it's also English only.
It's also like a very complicated setup, right?
Hopefully a future low-tad. I've always wanted to do that in a real low-tad, but I can't even think of a challenge where that's a viable answer to do. Maybe low C in the future?
Yeah, what are the other button challenges that are interesting? Like, is low B an interesting thing to do?
Low B is possible now. It's not interesting though.
You mean like 0B is possible?
Yeah, 0B is possible now, because really you only needed it for getting the Ocarina from Skull Kid.
Yeah, right.
And then finally the last potential A press save that I wanted to mention is if we could get Action Swap as Deku in Goat's Room, then we wouldn't need to use a bow for that. Or we wouldn't need arrows for that. Deku can shoot arrows without bow. But we can't get action swap as Deku to our current knowledge. But if it's the case that we don't need bow for anything else, like you can kill Twin Mold and go with Blast Mask, and you could probably get into that Snowhead main room with the ice through Hot Spring Water. That would save 4 A presses.
You may be able to A slide through the ice as well. Oh no, there's nothing to auto roll from. Never mind.
Yeah, so there's potential for some A press saves here. It's not as like perfect as the low C and Ocarina of Time, but there's also a lot of A presses that I don't see any way of saving like a lot of the stuff. No matter what, we'll probably always have like a really high number for A presses.
Yeah, a lot of the like doors and songs are just some of the doors are possibly avoidable, but the songs, like, that's going to be really hard to avoid.
Yeah, so this run, 5 hours and 11 minutes. We sped it up over twice as fast.
Yeah,
That's much waiting time.
Yeah, I think that's also with like the 30-minute cut.
No. That's
Wait.
So that 511 is accurate. 511.18.
Oh, okay.
Like, according to Thuox, who did the edit, the timer jumped up at the end of Great Bay speed up 47:02, then corrected itself at the ranch speed up 1 hour in.
Okay.
So it was only wrong for 13 minutes.
Okay, then that makes sense. Oh yeah, so
I'll put that in the YouTube description. So people know.
I just noticed in the credits how like when it shows like the masks you did and didn't get, that duping over a bottle makes it still act like you never got it. So like it showed Kamaro and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't notice that.
I didn't know that either.
Ban the person that found that pointed that out in chat.
No, I noticed it myself. I didn't read chat for that.
I don't believe you. I think chat takes after you and Wise.
I swear it. I noticed it.
I think
I was okay. I will explain my own thought process. I was looking at the postman, like when the postman hat was spinning, and I was thinking, I wonder if those masks that got duped over will show up. And then the very next one was Kamaro, and then I'm like, oh right, so Kamaro's there. So then that means that duping over it makes it not show up in the credits. Then we were already discussing whatever we were discussing at that time, so I didn't want to mention at that time, and I was waiting for the conversation to end, so then I could mention it after that, and then I mentioned it. But in that time span, someone else mentioned it in chat, probably.
ZFG is the original astute viewer. Built astute.
It's fine, we believe you because you never ever read chat a single time. I definitely read chat several times. Now, if you guys were YouTube chat, I believe you. I definitely never read YouTube chat. Sorry, YouTube chat. And that's it.
There we go. The end.
Is this RTA viable? No.
Oh, I should have mentioned that. I could see someone doing it.
The Eno thing alone. I mean, like maybe slightly higher APRET, like maybe in the 30s.
So
But that
with the Eno thing, you could just like pause for like several hours to reset the day. So if they want to pause for like 3 hours straight, they can reset the day that way.
okay.
So maybe it could be done. There's some hard things though.
Oh yeah, and light arrow skip. Yeah, that's also really bad.
Yeah, white arrow skip is pretty hard. White arrow skip and getting into Great Bay twice. You have to get in twice. But I could see someone doing it in the future.